welcome to everybody. I'm Reiner Schlitzer from the Alfred Wegener Institute in Bremerhaven. In the next few minutes, what I want to do is to show you how you can access the resources of the IDP 2021, which is the graphical atlas, but then also the actual data. So you go all these routes via the IPO via the EgoTraces web page. You click on the data page, and then on the left side are all these links that you use for accessing the atlas, which we will do immediately now, but also the actual data. So EgoTraces, the electronic atlas. So you click on this link here, and that takes you to, Elena, next slide. It takes you to the map on the left-hand side here. You operate this by filling these boxes on the left top, and you choose a group of parameters and then an actual parameter. So here in this case, we are having this dissolved trace elements, and we have chosen iron. Once you have chosen a group and a tracer, the map changes dynamically, and all the lines, all the sections that have data for the parameter that you have chosen, they turn red, including with their label. And all basins, ocean basins that have a 3D animation for this particular tracer that you have chosen, they have a blue rectangle active. Overall, EgoTraces has almost 1,500 sections and almost 270 3D scenes. So it's a rich resource, many parameters along many lines in many basins. So if, for instance, we are interested in one of the sections here in the South Pacific, the label that is marked in green, you click on this label, and what you will get is the section of the tracer that you have chosen, iron in this case, along this line. And that is displayed in the right top of this slide. In addition to actually showing the graphics of this parameter, there's lots of information at the bottom of the page, including a description of the parameter, the list of names of people who have created the data, very important. So you always know who were these heroes making these data. But then also further links that take you to other tracers along the same section, but also eventually to these 3D scenes. And if you have clicked Pacific for these 3D scenes, you will see the example here shown in the slide bottom right. And actually on the website, this will be a rotating scene. You can look at the distributions from all angles. So this is basically the virtue of the EgoTraces Atlas, providing lots of graphics in an, I would say, easily accessible way. And once you start, you have lots of links that take you further. And if you have lots of time, you can spend an afternoon analyzing what the EgoTraces community has actually achieved. Okay, enough for EgoTraces. Next slide, please. So access to the actual data from IDP 2021, we have three ways, which we quickly will go through. The first one, bulk full package download. If you simply want to have all the data from the IDP 2021 and then use that, this is the way to go, first option. Very often, people don't want the full package. They have a very specific need. They want to have data for a specific domain, maybe time window. And instead of having all these 450 parameters, maybe you just are interested in 10, 12 or so. then option 2, that's for you. You will be able to select what you want and just extract those data you want to work with. The third option actually will not require you to download any data, and also you will not be forced to install any software. You will do the analysis online, and this will be option number 2. I want to emphasize that unlike for previous IDPs where you had to register and you needed to log in with your specific name, now you have to agree to the fair data use statement, a document that is distributed with the IDP. Once you have agreed to it, you will get access. There will be no need for registration, no login needed. So the access is much simpler. So let's quickly go through these 3 options. Next slide, please. So the bulk download, the top link that you would choose, that takes you to a page at the British Oceanographic Data Center, which is our data assembly center for GeoTraces. You will see the page looking like this. There's a download link in the middle of the page that will allow you to download the data of all these 5 packages that the IDP consists of. Seawater discrete sample data, this is the core of the IDP. But we also have sensor data from the CTD package. We have aerosol data, precipitation data, and cryosphere data. And you can get these data in 3 different formats: as ASCII CSV, column-oriented spreadsheet format, NetCDF if you are a modeler, or ODV collection for those people who use ODV for their analysis. So that will give you the full package. Next slide, please. Now, if you want to subset, then you would go for the second link, and that will take you to the web ODV extractor, as we are calling it. And that will allow you to make a subsetting following 3 steps that are highlighted in this navigation bar near the top. And the first one allows you to select cruises, a geographical domain, or a time window. So here in this example, we have focused on the South Atlantic and have chosen just 3 cruises. This you do on this first page. Second page, next slide, please. That allows you to select the parameters or the variables for which you actually want data. And this is provided in a tree view here in the middle at the bottom, where you can select or unselect entire groups by clicking on this top layer box, or you can select or unselect individual parameters. So in this case, we have made a quite limited selection. On the right side of this screen, you get a summary of what you have selected. So the number of stations, 118 out of, and the small number of variables that you have selected for output. Next, final step is number 3, where you initiate the download. You choose a format on the left-hand side here, ASCII spreadsheet, ODV collection, or NetCDF. Once you click one of these buttons, a few seconds later, you have the package as a zip file on your computer. So that's the virtue of having this extractor. So you only get what you are interested in, much smaller packages. Next slide. So then there is this third possibility of having data exploration online. So no need for downloading the data on your private computer, no software download. And this online service, this will now be demonstrated live by Phoebe Lam.